Hello and welcome to a round 1 playoff game of the Season 4 ALTTPR League. Our two teams today are going to be WJPDTB, represented by Brewers fan JP, versus Noble Foxes, represented by Obscure Lifeform. I am Zethno and I'm joined here by Drossi. How are you doing today?
I'm good. This should be a good matchup too. I'm excited for it. I know you've been doing your due diligence on these players, so what can you tell us about their very recent history with each other?
Yeah, see, I was looking into this right before the match, and it's kind of funny. These two teams are actually from the same division, and they actually just played each other in Week 7, so the last games these players played was actually against each other, and the teams went 1-1. And I believe both these players ran one of those seeds, so they've recently played each other.
And Uncle's letting us know that something random just came up. Imagine that.
I'm sorry. Is your life form playing as a fish?
That's what he always plays as. It's pretty impressive. Those of you who watched him on his run to fourth place in the main tournament may recall he even had some very interesting artwork before his matches in his setup screen there.
So, yeah, okay.
So, of course, this is Casual Boots. We have a sword, though it gets visibly activated once you talk to Uncle. And not much else so far besides that powder, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say for new players, and it's something that a lot of people miss, is that that sword actually works. So if you notice at the starting, the runners actually dash through the bushes, even though they don't have a sword.
Yeah, they just don't actually have any enemies that they could use the sword on before they reach Uncle.
Nope. So this is the part where we normally talk about how they're going to be looking for bombs, but since they have boots, they can bonk that wall, so there goes that conversation.
So I was just looking up the records. Both of these runners did both races for their team, for their respective teams in Week 7, so they faced each other twice just a couple weeks ago.
Uh-huh. Oh, so they did.
Including a really impressive race where the finishing times were 1:23:12, 1:23:12, 1:23:13, and 1:23:28. So
Yeah.
Brewers fan JP brought up the rear, finishing a full 16 seconds behind everyone else.
Yeah, but I mean, when you talk about 4 runners finishing a co-op race, and one of them is 15 seconds behind, that's a close race.
Yeah.
So that. Most races have a bigger difference between teammates. Forget players on other teams. So I think both these runners are probably going to look for the win here to take that win. So we have a shield. Is that going to help us?
Probably not, but you never know. It introduces lag.
So it does. We get a little bit of lag, and you know what? If we get one more shield, then hey, maybe it'll save us like a blind hit if we get off script.
And while we're watching Escape for the 100th time, we got a prediction in chat. Neither runner did a map check entering Escape, so if you want to guess how many pendants or crystals there are in the light world, feel free to spend your hard-earned channel points.
Pendants 0 or 2 or 1 or 3. Oh, that's mean. You didn't. We don't even have like a low versus high guess here. It's a.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to take a blind guess on that one.
Well, I'm just gonna say that someone super massively just voted into 0 or 2 with like 250,000 points.
Wow. Someone's very convinced here.
So I guess we'll see. But if you want a shot at winning a whole bunch of points, go against that one. I'm just loving watching the fish with a shield. For some reason, the fish with a sword was not quite as funny as the fishes with the shield.
That's true. I mean, it's easier for a fish to hold a sword in its mouth than to hold a shield in its mouth, I would say.
But holding both, too. It's just like the shield's always there, too, so it kind of offsets and it just kind of looks great. The shield just agrees to hover in front of the fish for the entire race. That's what I've seen.
Then there's Invisible Link, where you can't see anything but his shadow until he starts acquiring, like, swords and shields, and then he's holding them out.
Yeah, then you're just playing a ghost, though.
Yeah. But just in terms of other things that look weird with shields.
Ooh. Oh, we're getting some sync here. Look at that.
Wow. And that's a Master Sword and a Red Meringue, so we're finally starting to find something.
Hey, all we need to do is find the lamp, and then we can go do Agam.
I'm sure that's exactly what the runners are hoping for.
No, but I'm sure it probably crossed their mind.
Oh, certainly.
When you get a Master Sword before you get an escape, you're going, oh, game, don't do this to me. Don't. No, my Moon Pearl's not on Pyramid, is it? Oh, love.
Well, that's a nice thing to find, part of our otherwise Dark World access.
That was fast. 3 crystals in Light World, 0 or 2 wins. If I saw that correctly.
Were any of them 5/6? It was too fast for me to even see it at all.
If I'm correct, they were all standard normal crystals.
Oh, yep, there we go. Yep, all blue crystals. Okay.
I caught that in the replay.
I caught it when Obscure checked. Did not actually see what was in Lumberjack there. Oh, chat's saying bow. Well then.
I looked away for 1 second. There was bow?
Yes. Guess it depends where the other bow is, whether we'll need to do Aga for Lumberjack.
Well, you know, at least you have a moment when you have a Master Sword this early, and you walk in there and you go, hey, well, at least it's something worth it. We have a divergence.
That is interesting. Obscure doing an early Death Mountain play. Really only gonna get 3 checks out of it, though he is gonna get the save point. And of course, without the lamp or flute, this is all out of logic.
Yeah, definitely out of logic, but, you know, if you have that thought where you see the bow, you go, okay, I probably need this. I already have Master Sword. The lamp may just be coming up somewhere around the corner, so why don't I just go get these checks out first? These runners look so fast at things. I think that was a rupee.
Oh, there's the ice rod, though. And
crystals on Skullwoods and TR, and pendants in Mire, Pod, and Swamp with a green in Mire. Sorry, before that vanished on us.
No, just, fortuitous finding of the ice rod, as we learn that TR is actually a crystal, so it's not one of those early ice rod and TR's appendant seeds.
Oh, yes, but then you find out Trinex has a required item, and nothing else is.
Oh, and chat saying there was a Samaria there, too.
I definitely missed it because I was watching the map check, so wow, okay.
Yeah, I missed that while I was watching the map check as well.
JP, you can't bonk that wall. It's easy to forget. Well, that is a very convenient location for the flute. But my only question is, why were the chickens guarding it?
They were trying to learn to play it, but, you know, with chicken lips, it doesn't work too well.
Well, how about fish lips? Is that better?
Maybe.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see if the fish can play it.
Well, you know what they say. The choir consisted of 3 sopranos, 2 altos, 4 tenors, and a bass, but the fish couldn't sing a note. The thing I was waiting is I was waiting for someone in chat to make a comment on that. Oh, mirror. I didn't want to say anything until I saw chat's reaction. So we had mirror on library, so we got a lot of really good items here. And what does the dam have for us today? Oh, bailed out.
Bow.
You know what? I don't think we're going to get silvers this seed. Call it a hunch.
Yeah. Probably not. These runners are definitely comfortable with Master Sword Ganon silverless. That's the only reason you might want to get it. Like if you still have Master Sword at the end and you're a little worried.
Well, in point of fact, we haven't found the Moon Pearl, so that is still a possibility.
Oh, that's true. Oh, it could definitely still be on Pyramid. Then we will see silvers.
Right. If we are forced to beat Agawan for Dark World access, we already have boots, so then, you know, picking up silvers is free.
Yeah, it's so quick out of the way. You just run up, you grab them. You will definitely save time on Phase 3 of Ganon, or Phase 4 of Ganon.
Hey, how about that 11-minute mirror shield?
Wait, we're on mirror? Okay. I guess we just got that. That was fast.
Yeah, one in Escape, one in CAC, and one in Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, that's... well... it is what it is. It makes the shield a little bit useful instead of having just the fighter shield. For these runners, it's mostly going to be a casual, they accidentally hit the wrong button somewhere. If they need to use it, but it is what it is. We gotta look at Eastern over here on JP's side.
Well, I mean, with that bow, it's out of logic without a fire source to complete it, but I'm sure that doesn't stop these runners.
Oh, yes.
Ooh!
There's Mitts.
Yeah, at Aegina, which is not exactly a fun location, though with the flute it's not that bad, so JP will probably be getting there sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that's even with a flute though, it's a single check location that's quite out of the way. But yeah, for a moment I was trying to figure out why you were saying the bow was out of logic, and then I realized you were saying this dungeon is out of logic.
Yeah, that... it's not hard blocked, but it is logically blocked without a fire source.
Yeah, but as you said, these runners are not going to care about lamp logic. Not in this dungeon, of all things. This is probably one of the dark room we're about to see on JP's side. It's probably the first dark room most runners learn. There's a question in chat. It's probably a good thing to talk about while there isn't too much going on about what items we're still looking for sure. It'll be hookshot. We need fire rod, hammer. Am I missing something? Oh, well, moon pearl, obviously.
And whatever medallion is for TR if it's not Quake.
Yeah, it could just be Quake, though.
Logically, we need flippers for ice.
Yeah, I'm also being corrected that technically they may not need hookshot, but I just consider hookshot a required item. Ooh, here's the second dark room on JP's side.
Didn't JP lose twice to a Moldorm bounce in the main tournament?
Oh, I'm not sure. There's the ways to get around hookshot at the end of the game can be so finicky that I generally figure, unless I'm watching someone that I know is a very proficient hoverer, that I'm not really gonna count on them not needing it. And even that can take a little bit of time sometimes.
Yeah, I just trying to remember who it even was in the main tournament that JP was playing against. I just remember that like he wound up in 2 hover seeds and lost to a Moldorm bounce both times. But there is much time left. We may yet find the hook shot.
I do have a question. First of all, we see the fish walking on water, but why does the fish need flippers to swim?
Because when you're carrying a sword and a shield, it's hard to, swim on your own, even as a fish.
But where does the fish put the extra flippers?
On its tail?
Just like extra big flippers?
Oh, so we haven't actually seen Sah's closet yet, have we?
Guess not, no.
Well, nothing much there except when you're at 4 hearts and get a heart container to go to 5, it's kind of nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, JP did pretty normal strat. If you have gloves and flute and bow, just go do Eastern first, and then go do Saha's closet. A little bit faster, and unless your items are a set that you're not comfortable doing Eastern Dark Rooms, most runners will skip it.
Now, with JP having waited a bit to go to Death Mountain, he'll actually be able to do Hera here. Unless, of course, the big key is vanilla, because we don't have a fire source to get the big key, and we don't have a hookshot to Hera pot.
Oh, yeah. What are the odds of... Actually, I think the odds went up because you said it.
I'm sure they did.
But...
of course, maybe the lamp's sitting in, like, Hera map chest.
Oh, very well could be. We did have the flute, so we do have logical access up here. The first time we were up here, we were discussing we were out of logic because we didn't have it. So it was a ruby, thank you.
But still no sign of the moon pearl.
Nope. Well, we know it's not on Pet.
That's true. Moon pearl on Pet, I have heard of someone who once got that, but it is exceptionally rare.
Well, it does require all 3 pendants to be in the light world.
Oh yeah, chat also remarking we do have desert access, amazingly enough. Again, without a fire source, we can't finish it, but that also means Moon Pearl could be in Checkerboard Cave.
Oh, yes. Oh, there's the big key, so we can do this dungeon. The question now is going to be, do we find both items? There's one. Meanwhile, we have a dark room over on Obscure side. Always easy to know exactly where these runners are in the dark. You're in a room without enemies, and it is very difficult to actually know where they are if you don't see them walk into the room.
But at the same time, there aren't that many dark rooms in Eastern.
No. What is this? Ah, second item. Nothing in the basement. Nothing in the big chest.
Well, that's nice. We don't have to worry about getting to it. But there's also no progression here other than just, grabbing the crystal.
Yeah, but I mean, it's definitely nice for the runners when you're in that situation. You go, okay, well, at least I don't have to come back. I don't have to make that choice.
Oh yeah, chat reminding us King's Tomb is in play too. Now, of course, JP has not yet gone to get his mitts from Aegina to begin with.
Yeah, but see, I think now is when that we'll probably see that come in, because you can link that in with the desert play, which I think is probably the best option at the moment.
Yeah, and that's about all we have in logic. Desert, checkerboard, and King's Tomb.
Do you check King's Tomb or King's Tomb? Do you check checkerboard or do you do desert first at this point? And just to answer a question in chat, we got both items out of Tower of Hera, so there was nothing remaining. There are only 2 items in that dungeon.
So there's JP's mitts. Obscure's... Well, he's gonna check Saha's hut. Then I'm guessing he'll probably go back to the mountain to do Hera. But maybe he'll flute to 6.
Yeah, could just come over to desert side. Can't finish it, but could get the items. It's a pretty long walk up to... We're getting a King's Tomb check first. Okay. I was going to say, it's a pretty long walk to go all the way up to Hera, so if you can avoid doing that an extra time, it's quite helpful. Yeah. I like this play. I know it's a non-completable dungeon, but I like this play. We could check Meyer Shed while we're here. It's out of logic, but we could check it.
Yeah, you have to get bumped right into it just the right way.
Well, we have mirror, so you can use the mirror there, too.
Or mirror on that pixel. And Meyer is Bombos. We hope we don't need to go into Meyer, but we know what the requirement is. JP, you already checked that big 20 when you then went to Aegina.
Oh, okay. Big key.
Hey, Desert's boots locked.
Wait, where did we find the boots again?
That was a joke, right?
For those joining us, this is a casual boots race we started with.
Okay,
well,
so
yes.
We have big key locking small key, as sometimes happens in desert. So now where are the items?
Right side or on the boss?
Yeah, so...
We can't get to the boss, so we'll see.
Right, there has to be at least one item on right side. If we're lucky, maps on Landmo, and we can just go back and do Landmo sometime much later.
Okay, one item.
Maybe it'll be the hook shot. That would be interesting.
Moon Pearl. There it is.
Good old Moon Pearl.
So, do you just check Meyer Shed while you're here? And... Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you have the portal.
You gotta jump into the water first. And let's see if Meyer Shed has anything for us. No.
But now you do checkerboard.
Both runners jumping into the water for a little bit of a dip. Desert was just a little bit too hot for them. Wanted to cool off. JP is showing off the block delete. Obscure just pushed the blocks out of the way. Oh,
hey!
look, combos.
Key under the doormat, as it so often is.
Yeah, so we can do that dungeon now.
No. What you want to do is immediately dive ice because the fire rod has to be there.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's definitely where it's going to be. But, okay. So it is a green pendant, so our runners probably don't want to go into Mire.
Yes, that's why they probably weren't that excited by seeing Bombos.
I like that there for a second. I don't know if you noticed, while JP was dashing over to Ice Rod Cave, he was sitting on Ice Rod as his item. That must have been on purpose.
So we'll get both of our runners in the Dark World now. Obscure is gonna do Graveyard Ledge, and I guess he hasn't done King's Tomb yet, so this makes sense for him.
Yeah, get them together. Just get them out of the way.
Did we see what was on Bumper Ledge, though? I don't think he checked that.
If he did, I missed it. We are getting a Skull Woods check here.
That's a bit unusual when it's a crystal and you don't have the fire rod.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see some value of leaving it until your second run through here. But on the other hand, we're still missing Hammer.
Yeah, I know.
So you go into Village of Outcasts, Hammer's in Skull Woods, and then you're just all turned around afterwards.
So many races have been lost by someone orphaning Thieves Town Big Chest because they didn't have the hammer.
Yeah, so I can also definitely see the value of just doing this early and just double checking that you're not leaving a hammer behind.
I did like that we got simultaneously vanilla item collections. Oh, there's our pesky hook shot. Okay.
That's worth a lot.
Told you it wasn't going to be a hover seed.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah, we simultaneously saw a vanilla big key on JP's side and a vanilla piece of heart on Obscure's side, and I just thought that was kind of interesting.
We are going to get the rest of the front here. There's only one item left in Skull Wood, so this could be good for JP because he'll know whether or not he has to come back for an item or not. Meanwhile, we get the Village of Outcasts checks.
Okay, we have a question in chat, though, about how it says Courage Casual Boots. And just to explain that for those of you who aren't used to how we do playoffs in the league, at the beginning of the season, all the runners on their teams had to pick a designation corresponding to one of the pendants, Courage, Wisdom, or Power. And during playoffs, the Courage runners of the teams facing each other match off in a casual boots race. The Wisdom runners do cross keys, and the Power runners, well, the better seed gets to pick one of 4 special modes. Sorry, I didn't mean to totally cut you off there. I just figured we hadn't actually explained that at any point.
Yeah. But we really haven't found anything interesting to discuss anyways. So we did only find one item in Skullwood, so there is one in the back.
Yeah, and we found the small key, which does make it kind of likely. I mean, maybe the remaining dungeon item is in the back? I mean, is in the big chest? We'll find out. Of course, if both runners do this, then neither's at a disadvantage.
Yeah, did we find the map? I wasn't watching Thieves Town enough to know. I think we found the map. Did we find the compass as well?
We definitely got an item there. It wasn't. If we had both the map and the compass, we wouldn't have gotten any items in the front because we got the small key.
Yeah, so we did get one item, so there's probably...
Yeah, I remember seeing one. It was something junky like arrows or bombs, but we got an item in the front.
Okay. Pretty sure, I think I saw the map, so...
And there's another junky item.
But it's much better than the situation of finding the compass and knowing there's an item that you can't get in the big chest.
Yeah. Now, of course, if JP finds a hammer up here in East Death Mountain, that would be huge.
Yeah, this hookshot could be big, but we have to wait to see what comes out of this. It's a big find, but if there's nothing here, it doesn't really give him any advantage over Obscure.
I mean, opening up 14 checks, you have to hope it's something.
So far, it hasn't been.
And it could be more than 14 checks if, you know...
Oh, flippers.
Okay, flippers or something. That was just money in Blind's chest, right?
Oh, great. I looked at JP.
No, that was the compass. Sorry, I thought I saw something green. So there is definitely an item now in these big chests.
That's unfortunate. Oh, yeah, of course. Chat's talking about Hammer and Swamp.
It can only be in the first chest, but boy, is it a doozy if it is.
Yeah, well, I calmed that qualifier for the main tournament. That was, there was some drastically different finish times between the top two runners and everybody else.
And with the flippers, yes, we can make that first chest in Swamp now. As we discover, that is Bombos for TR, so we could go in. And then it's like, do you want to without the fire rod?
It's a crystal, so you have to come back. That just feels bad.
What if the fire rod's in TR?
Yeah, no, but that's like that. That just sorry.
Oh, never mind. We don't have the friggin' hammer. I'm an idiot.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be important. That's the thing we're really looking for at this point. JP has found nothing.
I mean,
you wanted to talk about how many. But you were talking about how there's so many items up here. You got to find something. Yeah, but flippers might not. Flippers may not mean anything. It's logical access for ice, but I guarantee you these runners can do it without. The only time that would actually be important is if that first item in Swamp has something.
Obscure did a water walk, but did he check Hobo?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't remember seeing someone there.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing Hobo. Yeah, our tracker confirming
there's Fire Rod.
Oh, okay then. So that is a depending on where the hammer is, that is very likely a required double dip of Skullwoods.
Yeah. So that hookshot leads to Fire Rod. After all that, I was talking about how there was nothing there, and then the one item right at the end.
Oh, and it looks like JP is going to do that Hobo check along with some of the other Flippers checks here.
I mean, this could just be an ice play.
Nope, decided against. Oh, he was just checking Lake Hylia Island. I see.
Oh, okay.
Wow, this is crazy. We are, in fact, a hammer from Go mode.
33 minutes in.
Not that we really want to be doing Master Sword Silverless. Hey, and Magic Back gives us our final medallion, which is more or less useless, except for freezing Stalfos.
I mean, hey, if you really don't want Master Sword Silverless, you can go kill Aga.
Yes, there's that.
That's not something we're going to see these runners do, but if you are a newer runner watching this, there is nothing wrong with doing that as you're learning.
And this could be a logically Aga-required seed, but I'm sure... Well, no, never mind.
No, can't.
We have the flippers. We can get to East Dark World. Scratch that.
Nope, we have everything we need. We
And
literally
Hammer
just
can't
need
be
that
in
hammer.
Pyramid Fairy because TR is 5/6 crystal.
Yeah. Yeah, and also conversation, some info in chat with people talking, and yeah, personally I agree with what's being said there, that the Tempered Sword helps a heck of a lot more than Silver's. So if you can find that third sword somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
The first two phases of Ganon's are still really horrible with Master Sword, even if you have Silver's.
Oh, there's the hammer, sitting there in K45 all along.
We've had access to that for quite a while.
So that's our no mode at 35 minutes.
Wow. Speaking of Hammer being right after Thieves Town, if you do it north-south.
And Moth has our first bottle of the game.
Hey, we can check second. We could still get a sword from that.
Yeah. No, I mean, a tempered sword would be very useful. And I'm sure even once these runners hit Go mode, if they're still on Master Sword, they'll be making checks that are reasonably on the way to try to get a tempered sword.
Oh yeah, I fully agree. Now here's the thing, does JP go there?
Hype Cave is Health Cave today. To answer a question in chat.
Good.
To answer a question in chat, no mode is when we know where all the items for Go mode are. Go mode is when one of the runners individually knows where all the items for Go mode are.
Yeah. Oh, the fish swimming animation's cool.
So this will definitely play to JP's advantage that he will be going into ice with the hook shot and the fire rod, which are both really nice things to have in ice, even if not hard required.
Yeah. Yeah, at this point it's just a race. When you think about it, we've hit go mode, or well, no mode from our side. The runners are still looking for that single item each. But we don't really have a lot of dungeons complete, so this could just be a lot of zipping through dungeons once they find their respective items.
Well, oh, interesting. JP stole the key because he figures, well, I'm almost certainly not getting Hammer back here, so I'm just gonna...
Sword.
What?
But,
oh, Sword and Ice Palace?
yeah.
Oh, nice.
You're watching JP, but sword.
Yes. Good find.
That's okay. Now we're in good mode. Like now we're in good
and
mode.
then boy is Obscure happy to be swinging that sword.
Oh yeah. Now, knowing this, Obscure, when he finds that fire rod, it's just going to be zipping through the rest of the game. there's going to be very little checking. Knowing the silvers aren't even on the table, already having tempered. Like, what are you looking for at this point? Gold sword would be nice, but it's not going to help you all that much.
Now, the interesting thing is with that hammer, we know that the double dip of Skull Woods is not actually required, but would Obscure go to East Death Mountain without the hook shot?
That is a good question. I think JP is in better shape to hit go mode first because K45 is a very logical check after this. But we're going to see what happens.
Oh yes, good call by Obscure's teammate Nobly in chat that since JP is just hammer for go, he knows he can safely skip the big chest because it can't contain a hammer.
Yeah, well, that's definitely true.
And we found, I guess that's Obscure's first bottle in Ice Palace Big.
I wonder if we are even going to check that.
If Obscure will check Sick Kid, or if JP will check the big chest.
Oh, no, Obscure, the bottle.
Yeah, I think Obscure will check Sick Kid. I mean, he'll have to go back there, to do Skull Woods, which we'll have to do. Well, I guess he doesn't actually need that hook shot.
No, we could just get it at the end, go up to the mountain. I think you... Rough, because at this point you kind of want to put off right side Death Mountain until you get Hookshot, just because it's so much faster, and then you want to put off Skull Woods until you get Fire Rod. The problem is that those two items are locking each other. Bit of a catch-22.
Well, Cold Stare sure got a lot easier with the sword.
Yeah, hey, with the Tempered Sword, Cold Stare is pretty easy.
Not as easy as with the Gold Sword.
True, but we had a lot of spins there. Tempered spins do the same thing as gold damage.
Oh yeah, so JP, he's going down here. He's probably going to do Smith Chain, but you go by K45 on Smith Chain, so he should be fine.
Yeah. No, this makes sense. You don't just kind of leave. You don't want to leave this here.
Oh!
We're going to skip Smiths. That's fine, too.
Interesting. That's quite fortuitous for him. 42-minute go mode.
Go with a thorough. And just gets it immediately. Now, here's the big question, though. That sword is a little bit out of the way in ice. It's not a lot out of the way, but it's a little bit out of the way.
Was it? I thought it was just on right side, and you go by all those chests if you're...
No, it was the one where you have to hit the switch and go.
It was an atrium.
Yeah, it's like the one chest that's going to be a little bit out of the way. Do you do it?
Meanwhile, Obscure is going to get his Fire Rod right here, so he will then be in hover mode. And
yeah, but you know what? Once you have Fire Rod, you're going back to Skullwoods soon.
Yeah, but is he going to full clear Skullwoods?
Yeah, it's if you're gonna go there, you're gonna clear it, I think.
Guess we'll find out. And obviously he's gonna stay on the mountain first. Nope. Okay. I guess he figures I'm in hover mode. I'm not wasting time doing Paradox Cave. I'm just gonna go and hope that Hookshot's on the way, and if not, I'll just hover. This is gonna get very interesting as both of our runners converge on finishing up Desert.
Yeah. The big difference here is that sword advantage, though. JP is up a dungeon, but it is not a particularly long dungeon.
Right,
It is down.
as chat just pointed out, Obscure can use the mirror and do Hera right before entering GT, and it's like maybe a bit more than half a minute since he won't be able to Hera pot, but fine, a minute.
I'm gonna say that's where that hookshot comes in handy. It speeds up that dungeon. That Obscure right on JP's heels as JP defeats Lanmo.
And you do love to see these seeds where, like, you don't come within 20 yards of a pendant dungeon.
Yeah, like, there wasn't much of a thought. Like, you could have had that little bit of a thought, like you were standing next to Meyer, but you didn't have a fire source. But beyond that, like, neither one of these runners was anywhere close to Swamp or Pod.
Also, nice Landmo strats from Obscure there, showing that Tempered Spin does the same damage as a Fire Rod, so he got a couple of them by combining a Fire Rod hit with a Tempered Spin.
Yeah. Going off some strats. This could be close.
Yeah, especially if JP doesn't get the Tempered and Obscure doesn't get the hook shot, and they both have to do awkward things that the other doesn't have to do.
I think that benefits Obscure. That Tempered sword is huge.
But JP is still opening chests, so if he went to the trouble of Compass Room,
yeah, I think
he's gonna get the Tempered sword.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's a good play. I mean, these checks are a little bit out of the way, but that Tempered sword saves so much time, especially knowing you're silverless.
And it looks like Obscure will not be getting the hook shot because he is go-moding Sculpt Woods here.
I mean, I agree, that's likely the case. There's a small chance that he goes back.
Yeah, maybe he checks stuff on the way out.
Just because, you know, you find out if the two items are back here, and then you just skip the entire front anyway.
Yeah, most runners would do middle on their way to back. That's the only thing. But yeah, there's no reason you can't do middle on your way back out.
But I do think you're right. I think that if Obscure knows how to hover and you have this seed, you can just hover it.
And there's JP's Tempered Sword, so he's good on that front, not bothering with the chest there, so he definitely feels in go mode now. I do want to ask him about his decision to skip Smith's Chain. That definitely saved him a couple minutes.
Yeah. I mean, could be thinking there's only one item left for go mode, basically. That's going to be a pretty long check for 2 items. Right?
Well, he didn't do... Oh, right, but without Hammer, if he had done Magic Bat, he would have lost his portal.
Yeah, so you don't want to do that. It's a whole bunch of awkwardness. There's no good choices there. So maybe you just skip it and you just hope it's somewhere else. There's only one thing left. And yeah, Hype Cave hadn't been checked. There was a lot of items in Hype. Could always come back if it's not there. Like, that density is so much higher along that route.
So, Obscure getting some potions. Looks like he is just gonna go to the mountain and make the TR play here.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. JP is up by 1 dungeon, but that dungeon is Hera. That said, Obscure has to do it the long way because of no hookshot.
Right.
So this could be really interesting. Oh, actually, Obscure also has to go up the longer way.
Well, you did. That's what I thought you were saying when you said the long way.
Well, I was talking about the dungeon itself, but this
the fire rod torch room.
A few things there.
And it's funny how they both want their blue goo before going up the mountain. Oh, and since Obscure's passing Hera anyway, he's just going to do it now. That makes sense.
Obscure probably very happy to find this big key right here.
Yeah, not checking anything else, going straight up. JP will have a slight lead, and we'll just have to see how it plays out. Of course, almost the entirety of the left side of GT is logically hookshot locked, so Obscure will have to do bomb jumps and hovers to get through that.
Yeah, that'll definitely take up a little bit of extra time there. Some of those jumps are in a little bit of awkward positions, although I'm sure Obscure knows them very well. And here it is. TR is open. The final dungeon, well, about to be open. Now it's open. The final dungeon for JP. There's a lot of people joining us, and there's some excitement about hover seeds. The hookshot was in the front of Skullwoods, and Obscura was in go mode and completely ignored it. JP has had it for a good 20 minutes.
Yeah, I believe it was in the Skull Big Chest, and the Skull Big Key was vanilla.
Yeah, we've had that hookshot for a long time. Obscure just didn't go to Skullwoods.
Yeah, so it was a totally different sequence for them. The last items we needed were that hookshot, the fire rod and spiral cave, and the hammer in cave 45. Those were kind of our key final items for getting these two runners into go mode.
But the cool thing was that JP and Obscure both had a hammer and fire rod, while the other didn't. They had to switch items, and they got them pretty close together, too.
But yeah, we were in no mode for a solid 7 minutes before either runner hit go mode.
Yeah. But yes, and JP does look to have a little bit of a lead. Just a reminder that if you look at JP's lead here, it's probably a little bit of a lead in time just in Turtle Rock, but there's also all of Tower of Hera that still needs to be completed on Obscure's side.
What? No, he did Tower of Hera on the way over.
Oh, did he? Oh, yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so it is a very close race. Obscure will have to, as you said, go around the fire rod torch conveyor belt the way the game intended you to. Ooh!
Whoa!
And he only has that one bottle, so that's game over.
So this just got really close.
Yeah, JP still has a lead, but he has to be careful with those chain chomps. He had a bit of a misfire. He, did the Samaria break, but wound up too far away on the blue switches to be able to push the block.
Oh, that's kind of a cool kick method for that. The part I was laughing at is Obscure actually just lost a little bit more time because I forgot no hookshot had to do the slow.
Right.
And I was watching it. And so yeah, we're not too far behind here. And we can talk about things like chain chomp. That happens. And just one more mistake like that on the part of either runner could be game breaking in their times right now.
Yeah, we are definitely in the point where, small mistakes can add up quickly to lead changes.
Oh, for sure. We are checking big key chest here, and it's the big key. Good check.
Which it kind of had to be since we didn't find it before. But that also means, no shortcuts here because we couldn't steal the Poke Key. We had to use it to get the big key.
Oh, yeah.
Though I'm guessing we don't visit Mimic Cave.
Aw, really?
Oh, look at the body form for the fish.
Oh, I missed it. What was it?
Fish bones.
Oh, yeah. That's... Well, we saw that, because that was
did we?
the bunny sprite.
Oh, yeah, early on, right. Because to get to desert, they had to do that. I just forgot what the bunny sprite was. And good thing we did not skip that big chest, because that small key is necessary.
Yep. You gotta be careful here. It's very easy to accidentally do something that's gonna make a huge difference at this point.
At least the half magic is going to be nice for the Trinex fight.
Yeah. I mean, we do have tempered swords, so it's not a huge thing. There is a 33-second difference between our runners right now.
Oh, we never got the lamp. I totally forgot about that because we never did Potter Meyer, so, like, we skipped most of the dark rooms.
Yeah. Right.
And then I'm
Lamp
like,
exists.
wait a minute. Why is JP having so much trouble figuring out where to place the block? Oh, we never got the lamp.
Yep, that would do it. So, do we use the shield? Got the small key. Nope, no shield.
To answer chat, the Eastern Big Key was not vanilla, so this is actually the first place the lamp has actually been logically required.
Well, no, hold on. Eastern is a crystal. Oh, yes, you're right. Never mind.
Right, but Armos wasn't actually locking anything, so you could have gotten the fire rod first.
Yes, you could have gotten the fire rod. There was nothing there. You are correct. Good phase. Ooh, I was going to say good phase 1, but a little bit of a mistake there on JP's side. Yeah,
and he wasn't able to switch items in time, and while part of a boss is blowing up, you can't switch items.
Yeah, here's the thing. There was a 33-second difference. That could have lost 5 or 6 seconds right there. And Obscure, right on JP's heels. This is going to be close.
And we'll do a prediction here just for fun, since, you know, the hookshot's been a thing here. Is the GT Big Key hookshot locked logically? And is Obscure gonna go full right and try to stay in logic and get the big key that way, or is he just gonna route normally and bomb jump and hover as necessary?
It is a 29-second difference, so we've caught up 4 seconds on Obscure side.
Doesn't surprise me. Overall, Obscure has the better execution. I mean, JP is a very good player. Obscure is, well, you know, 4th in the last main tournament.
Here we go, though. Right side, first check. Small key, second check. Big key!
Oh! Hope Room! Like, the god Hope Room, of all things.
That's big. Hold on, that is huge for Obscure if Obscure goes right.
Yeah.
Which I assume he has to do. You don't have hookshot. Like, that's got to be the best way to go right off the... No! Oh! Oh, no!
Is he going to check the torch and then go right? Just a bloomer. Oh, no!
Oh! Oh! Obscure!
Oh, no!
Will we see Stalfos first into right? I think that's might be what we're seeing. There's the hovering fish.
Oh no, he is going to feel so silly when he discovers where it actually is. Obscure, have you thought about Hope Room?
Well, he wants to show off the flying fish first. This feels really bad. GT routing. We did see Stalfos in the right. Well, it is what it is. About 59-25 entrance into land mode here. Yeah, and I mean, we talk about it. That's a very normal route. A lot of runners use it. There's nothing wrong with the route. It just feels really bad when the key ends up in Hope Room, especially when you don't have hookshot. Like there's nothing wrong with that play. It just didn't turn out to be helpful. I think I said 59-25 for Landmo.
I think so. I mean, it's clearly more than a minute's difference now that...
Yeah, it's more. Yeah, it's probably about a minute and a half we're looking at.
I don't think I've seen someone try DM strats without the hook shot before, I have to say.
I mean, it was a bold choice. It was something that, you know, if Obscure is thinking that JP doesn't have the hook shot, that could have been such a huge thing to find too.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing wrong with that play. It just feels really bad because of where the big key ended up being. Oh yeah, we're done that. So yeah, it was probably about a minute and a half, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, sounds about right. I mean...
Basically lost about a minute to that check.
Right, so if this keeps up, then... I mean, JP did a great tower climb. Like, it's entirely possible Obscure would have never caught up anyway.
For sure.
It just would have been a lot closer.
Yes. We know that it's probably about a minute, probably a little bit more than a minute, but... So we'll see what happens in kind of the final finish times with that, because Obscure got nothing out of Stoffels Room that would be of any help.
So yeah, we are going into the Ganon fight at 102 and change. Definitely a jet seed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were talking about one item away from go mode at, I think, 33 minutes. We hit no mode at
35-ish. JP got his go mode at 42.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, and here's Obscure's Hubber. Nice one.
Yeah, so saves a little bit of time there. Oop.
Oh, he doesn't have the hook shot to clip through those blocks.
Don't use mirror there. Do not use mirror there.
Yeah. In dungeons, mirror works as it's intended to. It does not delete blocks.
Yep. I think the place I've seen that the most is Ice Palace on the way to that big chest where you kind of go, hey, I want to get rid of this block. Oops.
And as Obscure goes into his Aga 2 fight, JP is already well through Phase 3.
Yeah.
But obviously, this is within a Ganon fall, you know.
Oh, for sure. Like, that would bring him literally even right now.
I was just thinking, did you find the Arrows of the Light World? Why, yes, we did. We just didn't want to beat Aga 1 to get them.
Yep.
Oh, and chat also commenting that Obscure took an extra cycle on Aga 2. That didn't help him.
Oh, yeah, no. And JP's execution here at the end has been very good. It definitely looks like, yeah, that decision in GT didn't matter. JP kept his lead and actually I think built a little bit on it.
Yeah,
Get your GGs in chat for JP. Well finished, Seed.
And he records an official race time of 1:04:29 as Obscure heads into Phase 3. So we'll wait for Obscure to finish on stream as well before we bring them in for an interview. Yeah, but I was going to say, one other thing to JP's credit. When you're in a jet seed like that, and you take a death to chain chomps, it can be pretty easy to get tilted after something like that. So it's very much to his credit that, he kept a clear mind and just kept going, and for the rest of the seed had really good execution.
100%. I just want to mention, to also go back, so JP had a 30-second lead in the tower, going into the tower. Picked up about a minute due to that decision. It looks like they're going to end up pretty dang close. Look at this. They're 1 minute apart right now.
Yeah, so maybe about a minute and a half all told.
Yeah, which is the 30-second difference going into GT plus the running difference. Like, neither one picked up or lost time. They both had a beautiful execution of GT, and just neither one picked anything up, and the only difference was that routing. Now, if they had made the opposite decisions, this could have been huge, because it would have switched the lead. But get your GGs in chat for Obscure.
Yeah, definitely well played by both runners. And that's an official race time of 1:06:10, so a minute 41 is the final difference.
Yeah, that's base, because I think it was a little over a minute due to the routing, so it was literally the routing plus the time going into GT. Man, that was a good finish. So we're gonna get the racers up here in a minute.
Yeah, we got them both in the waiting room. And we are joined by both of our racers. GG's, that was really well played by both of you.
Yeah, GG, GG.
GG.
And if it's any consolation, Obscure, your GT basement routing didn't cost you. JP had about a 30-second lead going into GT.
Yeah, I was kind of like, oh man, that kind of cost me time, because I knew I fell a couple of times, but actually it wasn't as big as I thought it was.
No, you came in about 30 seconds behind, and then after that, you started climbing like a minute 30-something, minute 40 behind, so that was about the same difference you finished with.
Yeah.
And JP must be good consolation that chain chomp death didn't cost you, because that suddenly made the race really close when that happened.
Yeah, I was worried that would cost me. I mean, in terms of a time loss, that's not the worst time loss, but I was you mentioned this in chat, it's like, or in the race room, it's like, any little thing that happens in a race this fast is like, just weighs on your mind so much.
Yeah, it's like you guys hardly even touched the dark world. Like, what did you think of all the stuff you were getting in the light world?
Like, I didn't even realize how much I was getting until I got that hook shot, and I'm going up the mountain, I'm like, wait, I'm 2 items from go mode potentially. Like, it was that sort of see. It's just like you don't realize how fast it is until you sit down for a second and look at it.
Yeah, so there is actually a comment here in chat that I think hookshot was the only, like, technically required item that we picked up in the Dark World. Because a few of them, like K45 was technically Light World, and a few other things that Checkerboard is in Light World, that all of the items were in Light World for this seed.
Yeah, you're right. It's correct. Yeah. I didn't think about that.
And so that technically, because Obscure, you skipped hookshot. What the comment is that you proved that this game was completable by only picking up items in the Light World.
There we go. Just never find go mode Moonpearl. Game solved.
Well, you never did find the lamp, either of you, because Pod and Meyer were pendants. I had even forgotten that until you got to the, what do you want to call it? The platform maze in TR?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just one of those weird seeds. I mean, it's just like you said, everything was just in the path, and like I was the only thing I was worried about was a sword, and I was actually that H room in Ice Palace. I was like, do I want to check this chest? And then I realized, oh wait, I need to grab the key. So yeah, just check it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, we figured once you checked Compass chest that you were probably gonna be getting that tempered sword as well.
Yeah, we were definitely worried about that in watching, because if you hadn't picked that up, this could have gone very differently.
Yeah, once I got that tempered, I knew, okay, I need nothing else. And then I guess we can go back to the start of the seed, and we saw, I don't know if Obscure checked the tree or not, but I saw the bow in the tree, and I'm just like, really?
Yeah, we were wondering if it was going to be an Agassiz, and then how did you guys feel about the bow in the dam?
Very relieved.
Yeah, I was very prepared for Aga. And then I was just like, oh, wait, there's a bow. Like, this wasn't the script. This wasn't how that's supposed to turn out.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, the other great thing was that, like, JP picks up the ice rod and Cackwell, right, or was it Blind's Hut, right as Obscure checks the Dark World map and we find out that TR is in fact a crystal, and, like, how often does that happen?
Not often, yeah. Usually, early ice rod usually means pendant TR.
Yeah, one of the other things that was interesting from our side was that you both had different go mode items. I don't know if you had a chance to discuss that. And the fact that each of you had the other person's go mode item about 7 minutes earlier.
Interesting.
One of you had Fire Rod and the other was looking for a hammer.
Yeah, you guys put us. Which. You guys put us in no mode at the 35-minute mark.
Amazing. Yeah, it was a weird one because there's just so many checks, and I thought, okay, I'm Fire Rod go mode. I was like, if I find the Fire Rod in Ice Palace, I can just clear everything on before going up the mountain, and then just go mode the mountain. I thought, like, but I feel like diving ice that early kind of just hurt me a little bit, like, because I had to full clear it in the end. So I just felt like, and then going North Dark World is so hard because when it's jet like this, and then you're so close anyway, just such small things can make such a big difference. Things you check, things you don't. And when you're 2 items from go mode, like hitting Dark World, it's just like, okay, what do I do? What do I gamble?
Yeah, actually, speaking of doing and not doing things, JP, I was a bit surprised you skipped Smith Chain altogether. That may well have won you the race, honestly, the time you saved not doing Smith Chain.
So I was tempted to do it, and then as I'm running out, I'm like, no, don't do this, because at that point I'm like thinking it's a really fast seed. I'd rather get to Hype Cave as fast as I can to see those 5 checks, which is why I skipped it. I figured it's not a big deal to just flute back and do it if I need to. And then, boom, hammer pops up in K45. I'm like, okay, let's do this. And I was actually tempted to go to K45 and check for a sword if one didn't pop up in Ice Palace, and then the temper popped in Ice Palace. I'm like, okay.
You mean go to Hype Cave after Ice?
Yeah, I was tempted to go to Hype Cave after Ice. But then, like I said, the sword came up, and I'm like, okay. And,
well, all Hype Cave had was a couple of heart containers. Because I'm seeing you were still on your first row of hearts.
Yeah, I only got to 10.
Yeah, I think Obscure, well, we'll find out soon enough when the credits finish, but I think Obscure got to 12 and the difference of 2 was the 2 in Hype Cave.
Yeah, and like you said, like, little differences in this one. Like, I was even just thinking back on the race while I was climbing, I'm like, could those North Dark World checks cost me? Because I made those, after getting the hook shot, I made those North checks before going up the mountain. And I was a little worried about that too, but like I said, it's just those little things in a race like this. You just start to wonder, do these little time losses, are they going to cost me?
Wow, and those collection rates too.
Yeah.
Obscure actually has the lower collection rate despite doing Stalfos Room in GT Basement.
I'm guessing he probably got that fire rod on Death Mountain, and
Yeah.
because if the way he would have gone without a hookshot, I'm guessing he had hammer, so he'd have probably done spiral first.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, yeah, he
And then
never
I was
did
off.
Paradox Cave, and obviously didn't do Hookshot Cave.
Yeah. And then I go
Skull,
moded
front of
Skullwards as
skull.
well.
Yeah, front of skull would make up more than
Yeah.
the difference. Yeah, you both tricked, but then on the other side, JP didn't full clear ice, and there were a few things that you went back and forth on.
Yeah, JP never did Hype Cave, as we just discussed. Oh,
Yeah,
right,
like-
and Obscure never even got those flippers, which were in Paradox Cave, and or was it Hookshot Cave?
I think it was Paradox.
It
I
was
was
like,
gonna say hookshot. Could be paradox though.
because
yeah, it was Paradox,
Zethno
it
was
wasn't
saying
Hookshot.
about how you had found just junk on East Death Mountain, and then you do Spiral as your final thing, and oh, there's the fire rod.
The rest of that side was totally useless right up until the fire rod.
Oh yeah, like when swamps say pendant, you never want to see flippers. So I was like, if that's the one thing I'm getting out of here, that's bad.
But you were still looking for hammer at that point, so once you found fire rod, the only place that could have really gone bad is if that first chest had your hammer,
Yeah.
which just sucks when it happens.
But yeah, so the big scheme of things, of course, is that this is just game one in a best of 5 series, so
Yep. Still a lot to go. Still anything can happen. I think it's Willard and Nobley tomorrow in Swordless. So we'll see. I mean, this is a good start to the series for sure. And yeah, we'll see how it goes.
yeah, Willard and Nobley at 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow doing Swordless, and then Wednesday at 1:10 Eastern, in the name of DT and Hayfield Bay doing Cross Keys. And then we'll see how the series stands at that point.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been some really close races between our teams. We knew going into this was going to be some really tough matches, and this is a great start, you know? GG again, Obscure. This was a really great race.
Yeah, GG's. Close, that's what you want from these races. So
Yeah.
it still is a toy cost, to be honest.
Yeah, that's how I feel about these other two races, too, is that coin tosses, they could go either way.
Well, and I was mentioning you guys' first co-op Randomizer race against each other, too, just in terms of how evenly matched your teams are.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, hopefully your teams will get some couple more good races this week, and then wouldn't surprise me at all if this series winds up going the full 5.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, we'll see. Like I said, we'll see how the next few go and go from there.
Any final thoughts before we close out?
I think I got everything. But yeah, GG again, and thanks to you guys for commentary and tracking.
Yeah, but just to mirror that as well, just thanks guys for putting this on and tracking comms and everything. And GG's.
Yeah, GG's again to our runners. Please give them a follow. Zethno put their Twitch links in the chat there. Also, big shout outs to Tawfile, our tracker.
Yeah, I definitely say the trackers are the ones that work behind the scenes to do a lot of things that really help everybody, help us, and help you watch what's going on. We just talk.
Talking's the easy part.
So it is. And Drossi, thank you for talking with me.
Yeah, I'm glad we finally got a chance to do this again. It had been way too long.
For sure.
And so there's one other invitational match going on right now on SpeedGaming 2 that I think we're going to try to send you over to it. Relkin versus Ashter. That is a cross keys race. Began at the same time as this race, which means it should probably be about half over right now.
Yeah, just about. I'm looking. There's still quite a bit to go in that one. And on that note, with all the races that will be coming up, really good playoff matches here in the Invitational as well as in the Open League. Don't forget to follow the SpeedGaming channels to keep an eye on what's going on here.
Definitely. There's a lot of stuff going on this week. And of course, the Open League is also having their playoffs. So follow the ALTTPR League and the ALTTPR League 2 through 4 as well. So you can really check out both leagues' playoffs.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I hope you all had a good time here with us tonight. And for me, I hope to see you next time.
yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll get you right on over to SG2.